Hello, Miami. You're watching 305 Sports Now, your home podcast and channel for all things Miami sports related. I am Will.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me.
Good morning, everybody. Hello, Miami. Welcome to 305 Sports Now. I am your host, Will. Hope you're having a very happy Monday, and I must say I am officially back from my vacation. It was a wonderful vacation. Nice over at the beach over there in Pompano. Much love to the Marriott Hotel over there in Pompano Beach. It was a great time. It was a great July 4th as well. Great eats around the area. So if you're ever in town, check out the Marriott Bonvoy over in Pompano Beach. That hotel is amazing. The food is great. The beach is fantastic. The pool's good as well. Very family friendly. And the area as well is very loaded with some good eats and so on. That's good for the family, or if you're single or newlyweds, whatever the case may be. Well, anyways, the bottom line is though, it was a fun vacation, right? It's a fun vacation, right? I will speak a little more about that. But I have to say one thing though, man. It has been amazing. The fact that Miami Hurricanes have been kicking butt on the recruiting trail. It has been fire. Absolute fire. And not many people could say, because our coaching staff has been pretty much really good at getting these kids, man. But Chevis Jackson, man. Chevis Jackson has created a potential no-fly zone, okay, for the Miami Hurricanes with this 2025 recruiting class. He just, after Jamil Adai, took the job over in Buffalo, he took this job of defensive backs coach and took it and ran, right? Him and Coach Guidry as well, Coach Cristobal, the rest of the staff. Because my goodness, they have really landed some top guys. I'll get into those guys about a minute or so. But I have to say, like, one of the biggest criticisms about the Canes in recent memory is that they're not recruiting defensive backs, okay? And I'm not trying to throw any shit at Jamil Adai, right? Jamil Adai did a good job of developing cornerbacks and developing defensive backs as well. We've seen, how well Tyreek Stevenson and DJ Ivey did in the NFL. You can make a case that that Jamil Adai was a part of that. It was a part of that. And then you also could make a case that Daryl Porter Jr. is one of the best defensive backs in not just the ACC, but possibly the country, all right, as well. How well he played, this offseason, and this season. So Corey Couch also played very well. We saw some bright spots with Damari Brown, okay, as well. But one of the things that they said that he hasn't really built depth as far as the defensive backfield goes, as far as recruiting goes. And let's be honest about a couple things. Robert Stafford and some of the guys that he picked up have looked good in practice from what I've heard as well. And I will give him credit for Saquon Patterson, right? Saquon Patterson, who everybody wanted around the country, I will give him as a Jamil Adai recruit. So that's something good that occurred under Jamil Adai. We all know what happened with Cormani McLean, but that's not much of the university's fault. Some other things played a role in there of Cormani, decommitting from Miami, going to Colorado to join Dion, and now becoming a Florida Gator because it'll work out for him over Colorado. But the bottom line is, though, however, I have had good things about Ryan Mack and OJ Frederick. So we'll see how Adai's guys translate into the field more so this year. If Mack and Frederick do get some playing time or get some run on the field, then you get much of an evaluation of Jamil Adai as a recruiter, also as a scout as well. But I think that as far as talent development, he was really good. And I'm very happy he got the job over in Buffalo. And I'm really happy that Chevis Jackson has, again, hit the ball rolling. A very good pickup for Miami, as he is the former DB coach out of Marshall. Very familiar with Lance Guidry. Understands the system. Understands the kind of caliber player that Guidry wants for his team, and knows how to mold them as well as far as defensive backs go. All right. But again, man, because of his recruiting, Miami, once again, as of right now, has a top 10 recruiting class. Let's not forget also D. Nick has been doing very well. And let's not also forget as well as coach Alex Mirabal has been killing as well in recruiting. But check out this number. Timothy Merritt, okay, out of Alabama. Amari Wallace out of Central. Chris Ewald out of Chaminade Madonna, and of course he recently adds Drake Stubbs out of Mandarin. Okay, out of Mandarin over in there in Jacksonville. And interesting enough, Drake Stubbs grew up a Florida fan, but ended up picking Miami, which I think is absolutely outstanding. Merritt is a 3-star. Okay, he's considered the less evaluated as far as numbers go, highly evaluated as far as numbers go. He's listed as a 3-star, but he's 6'2", 180 pounds. Give me a 6'2" corner any day of the week to man my boundary. Okay, especially to have speed, quickness, and have solid hands. This kid is going to be a stud. Remember, Cam Kitchens was ruled as was ruled a 3-star by various agencies, and Cam Kitchens turned out to be a pretty good football player for the Miami Hurricanes. Okay, you have Chris Ewald as well with 2 interceptions. Amari Wallace with 3 interceptions over Central. Stubbs was 6 as well. 12 interceptions combined. The junior of all these individuals that I mentioned. In many cases, they're not being thrown to either. So that's one of the main reasons why the interception numbers aren't high for everybody. Drake Stubbs is a ball hawk, okay? The guy is an absolute ball hawk, former USC commit, decommits, and becomes a Miami Hurricane. So right now, Miami has pretty much a no-fly zone brewing as far as it goes. And you can't deny the fact that that's something great that Chevis has just flat out is creating for this program. If this defensive backfield sticks, okay, because you never know, some of these guys will still be recruited hard. All right, but I think I'll address that after I talk about DJ Pickett. DJ Pickett will be announcing his commitment on July 17th. All right, he will be announcing his commitment on July 17th. DJ, give me a second, guys. Thank you. Sorry about that. DJ Pickett will be announcing his commitment on July 17th. It's pretty much a Oregon, Miami, LSU battle. Some believe Miami's the front runner. Other people believe Oregon's the front runner. We really don't know. Oregon, Coach Dan Lanning is a defensive-minded coach, and that is something that may attract DJ Pickett, but there is a family tie-in as far as family goes with Miami, and Miami has been recruiting him hard for a very long time. If Miami's able to land DJ Pickett, okay, you can make a case on paper with this recruiting class of defensive backs, and they're not yet done because they're still going to pursue Ben Hanks as well, Ben Hanks Jr. You can make a case on paper, if it pans out, that this may be the best defensive backfield that we've had in 20 years. All right, in 20 years. This reminds me of the old Canes that Mike Rump played in and Ed Reed played in. And this kind of reminds me about, I would say, in the 2000s, 2010s and so on, when Alabama had that stud field of Pat Surtain and Josh Joby as well. Okay, this is going to be a very special defensive backfield. And if there is some struggles with the defensive line, this is a defensive backfield that will pretty much help out the defensive line with pass breakups, interceptions. All these guys that I'm talking about that I just mentioned right now, especially Pickett, who wants to play corner but is listed as a safety. All right, all these guys are fundamentally sound. All these guys are ball hawks. All these guys can play off man. All these guys can play man to man as well. They have good hip rotations, good hip movements, very solid use of their hands, and they're intimidating in the football field. Very intimidating. Drake Stubbs is an absolute mauler. Okay, when it comes to laying down the wood. All right, he will make you pay for getting big yardage. All right, and DJ Pickett Jr. again has got the smoothest hips in terms of turns, rotations, and speed, etc. And he's also a very solid tackler. All these guys could all tackle as well. All right, so that's just pretty much the creation of a no-fly zone. It's going to be very important, the fact that we could keep these commitments, because now the argument about depth in the defensive backfield starts to weaken a little bit, because Miami will now have the depth in a solid freshman class that could come in and play, right, as well. And what happens when they see these kids play, as well, and get some run on the field and success, that brings in more defensive backs, that brings in more players, that brings in more blue chippers, and winning is the key. Winning is the absolute key in all this. Miami has won the battle in recruiting. They've won these wars in recruiting. They're in on every single solid recruit, it seems, especially on the East Coast of the United States. They're in on every stud in every position. All right, every stud in every position. Now it's about time Miami delivers on the football field. If Miami's defense is as successful as it was last year, and I think it'll be even more successful because now you're year 2 under Lance Guidry's system with a very devastatingly strong front seven. If Miami wins 10, 11 games this year, makes its case makes its case and enters a college football playoff, wins an ACC championship, watch out, man. Watch out, because Miami's going to crush it in recruiting and crush it in the ACC and become a national player again. I'm talking about in terms of wins and national championship contention. Okay, Mario Cristobal may not be the greatest X's and O's guys, may not be the greatest timeout, manager in terms of management in the world. It's a good thing that now analysts will be able to serve as coaching roles as well, because he could use an analyst. Hey, listen, maybe we should call a timeout right now. Maybe not run the ball here. Maybe, whatever the case may be. All right. But the one thing that Mario Cristobal is a beast at is program building. He did it at FIU. He did it at Oregon, and he's doing it now at the U. So that's the one thing I like about Mario Cristobal. He is a program builder. And in many cases, program builders win national championships over X's and O's guys, because they bring in the talent that fits the schemes that they want, but can execute it to perfection. Okay. Butch Davis was not the greatest X's and O's guys either. And people are going to tell me, well, Butch had a bunch of sanctions and stuff like that they had to deal with. And that's true. Mario hasn't had to deal with that. Okay. But if you ask former players, a lot of players didn't leave the state. They stayed in the state. It was a Miami, FSU, and Florida State battle. I'm sorry, Miami, Florida. Sorry. Miami, Florida State, and UF battle. Those are 3 schools a lot of these blue chip recruits went to. That's pretty much it. Now they're going to Ohio State. Now they're going to Bama. Now they're going to Georgia. Now they're going to LSU. Now they're going to USC. Now they're going to Oregon. They're now spreading the South Florida guys are now spreading themselves out more. Okay, so Mario's keeping those guys in there, right? So Butch was a program builder, and Butch built the greatest program of all time, and his coordinators coordinated, and they were dominant. Okay, they were very dominant. That being said, Mario Cristobal is a program builder. That's the one thing you can't say that he's not. He is a program builder. Now, hopefully, I've heard things yes, I've heard things no. Hopefully, he lets his coordinators do what they do best. If he leaves his coordinators alone, especially the offensive coordinator alone, and Shannon Dawson's allowed to cook up, like the way he cooked up at Texas A&M and so on, Miami's going to be very successful. Very successful. And I think that's what we're looking at right now. With the recruiting that's been going on right now, especially the last 2 seasons, if Miami wins football games, forget about it. All right, forget about it. Miami will control the ACC, and they will be a national player once again. Chevis Jackson, congratulations, man. You are killing it. And if DJ Pickett verbally commits, and every one of the guys that you just picked up signs, all right, in late December and so on, Miami's golden, man. Miami is golden, because we got the guys, man. Okay, we got the Jimmies and Joes, right? We got the Jimmies and Joes. Now's the time for let your coordinators perform those X's and O's, guys, and that's it. Okay, so congratulations to Chevis Jackson. Hopefully we can land DJ Pickett Jr. as well. Okay, Jacquez Carter as well the following day as well. Talented defensive tackle as well. And Miami's golden, man. Miami is absolutely golden. And I still say this: 10 wins up or bust. Okay, for this team, ladies and gentlemen. I will be interviewing Mr. Zach Krantz, okay, of WQM fame, right? The WQM radio personality of Zach, also of Krantz Corner. We'll be doing a little Panthers talk, right? Shifting to the Stanley Cup winning Florida Panthers a bit. Might even throw in a Tua question in there for him as well before the show ends. Okay, so tune in for that. That is going to air on, at least scheduled to air on Tuesday around 2 p.m.-ish, 3 the latest. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you heard, like all this Kane stuff. Oh, and I will be inviting on some Kane commentators as well. All right, some of your favorite podcasters as well. I will be reaching out, having come on the show again during the summer as well. But if you like what you heard, I'm just sorry, it just popped in my head. If you like what you heard, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. Once again, I am Will. Stay safe. God bless. See y'all soon. All about the you guys. Bye-bye, guys. Take care. Peace.